Michael Arkush, author of the Golf 100, I love this, a spirited ranking of the greatest players of all time. So I'm going to start with the big one, Michael, and I appreciate your time. Do you have number one correct? And it's Tiger Woods.
Let me get to number one in a second. I just want to say, don't give up on Rory that quickly. I'm just watching. He's hanging in there. That back nine is open to him. I wouldn't be surprised if he went 2 or 3 under, and the winds are going to kick up this afternoon, so he could be 3 or 4 back. Just want to throw that in there.
All right, Justin Rose has got 6 holes to play and is at 9 under. I would love nothing better than for Rory to win this major, but and maybe I put too much pressure on Rory. Maybe that's the problem. I need to back off.
Well, we all put a lot of pressure on Rory. But all right, as far as number one of all time,
yes,
you said Tiger?
Yes.
No, it's Jack.
What? So are we just using cumulative numbers here?
We're using, here's what we're using.
Okay.
We're using the metrics of major championships. And Jack won 20, not 18, because I'm giving him the 2 U.S. amateurs that were crazily taken away from him, the ones he won in 59 and 61. Jack has 19 second places, 9 thirds. You look at all the metrics, and they favor Tiger. Now, Tiger obviously was on the path to break Jack's record. It wasn't if he was going to do it, it was when.
Right.
But it didn't happen. The injury is a scandal. He imploded. He's at 15, turning 50 years old in December. Jack is the greatest golfer of all time.
All right, so are we going to add, do we add Tiger's 3 U.S. amateurs too?
We do, but I only count them half as much. And the reason is because every amateur after 61, when Jack turned pro in the fall of 61, he was the last great player who we thought might stay an amateur his whole career. After that, every amateur basically went pro. The amateur has lost its luster. It started way back then. And so those amateurs after 62, I only counted as 1,000 points per victory versus 2,000 before 62.
All right, since you said it was Michael Arkush, author of the Golf 100, a spirited ranking of the greatest golfers of all time, since you say it was spirited, I'm going to throw some other numbers at you that say that it is Woods and not Nicklaus in terms of winning percentages. And I just used, and to be fair, I tried to use the prime, the heyday of both players. So for Woods, 97 through 2009. For Jack, 62 when he turned pro through 1978. Which obviously doesn't include the 2 majors he won in 80 or the major in 86, but he had some pretty, he was older. So you aren't going to win as much, you don't play as much. So I kicked those years out to leave the percentages at what they were during his prime. His prime was 17 years, Woods was only 13s, but Woods' winning percentages significantly higher, both in PGA Tour events and in major events. Woods' winning percentage in majors for those 13 years was nearly 37%. Jack's was 27%. That's a pretty significant gap. And, I know the seconds and the thirds, they can matter, but I'm not sure they should matter. Woods had a ton of top 10s in that time. What's the difference if you finish 4th or finish 2nd?
Well, because Tiger, there were a lot of major championships that Tiger was not a factor in. Jack was a factor in many more majors than Tiger was. I think those 19 seconds and 9 thirds absolutely should matter. And yes, Tiger won more events, and I'll even grant you that during the stretch, Tiger's stretch of dominance was more impressive than Jack's. If you put a gun to my head and said, "Okay, Jack versus Tiger, 18 holes, everything's on the line," I might very well pick Tiger. But you still have to go to the entire body of work. And Jack won a major 24 years after his first one, 62 to 86. Yes, Tiger won one in 2019. But after turning 32 years old, he's only won 1 major title.
Well, yeah, no, that is a truism, but that basically was the end of his competitive, not at the end of his competitive career, but the back injury, the knee injury first, but really the back injuries absolutely robbed him of the ability. He couldn't swing the club for a while. I understand, and this becomes the debate. I also look at it in relation to the field. Nicklaus was clearly the best player of his era. There's no doubt about it.
Well, let me interject here. That era was also a better era. Look at the Hall of Famers Jack had to face: Weiskopf, Miller, Watkins, Player, Palmer, Casper. I could go on and on. Who did Tiger beat? Ernie, Els, Phil, VJ, maybe Duval for a few years when he was at the top of his game, but not that many more players. The whole roster of players that Jack had to beat were much tougher than Tiger's opponents.
You don't think the fields today are deeper by a lot, than they were back in Nicklaus's day with the amount of money?
Yeah, it depends what you call by deeper. Yes, you can have a Rich Beam or a Bob May come out there. And
I'm not even talking about those guys.
Yeah, even a rung. I'll grant you, even a rung higher. But the high echelon, the top caliber of pros that Jack had to beat in majors, they were greater players than Tigers. It's simple as that.
All right, so you and I are going to disagree on 1 and 2, and it's okay because it is, like as it says in the title, it's a spirited ranking, right, Michael?
I hope I was spirited. I'm trying to be. Absolutely. That's how I felt. I put 3 years of my life into this book. Absolutely.
Who's third?
Okay, here's another debate. Okay, between Ben Hogan and Bobby Jones, who would you pick?
I would take Ben Hogan. I would not be choosing between Ben Hogan and Bobby Jones.
Okay. Oh, you have somebody else for 3?
Walter Hagen.
Ooh, great. I'm not going to... I love this take of yours, okay? Walter Hagen, no, seriously, 11 major championships, great, probably the best match player of all time, responsible for elevating the role of the professional golfer, getting professional golfers to be accepted. All that's wonderful. But I still think it comes down to Hogan and Jones. I think Hogan, the resiliency coming back from the car accident, amazing ball striker, and Jones, contribution, impact on the game, leaving at 28 in 1930 after winning the Grand Slam. We're watching the Masters this week because of Bobby Jones. His impact on the game was unbelievable.
You know, he never won a Masters, though. He played it once, I think, top
more than that. But yeah.
Top 15. Michael Arkush is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. When you mentioned contributions to the game, does that elevate Arnold Palmer on the list?
Oh, absolutely. It elevates him to number 5. I mean,
that's where I have him too.
Yeah, I look at Arnold Palmer, and he sort of reminds me of George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life. What if Arnold Palmer had never been born? Where would we be today? Would you and I even be having this conversation?
No chance.
Right.
No chance. The just a quick. Well, I actually have a few personal stories with Arnold because I covered some President's Cup. I covered the President's Cup when he was the captain. His company built NC State's golf course, so he's been in town here. So I've had some interactions with him. But he played in the Champions Tour event here in Cary back in 2003, and he finished last. And they sent the groups off of 2 tees on the final round. So he went out the same time as the leader, right? But he went off the back as opposed to the front.
Right.
And the crowds surrounding Palmer dwarfed the crowds surrounding the leaders. I forget who won that. It might have been Tom Kite who won that event. And Tom Kite was mad because there was nobody watching. They were all watching Palmer because he was that guy. He had a way of making you feel like he was there to please and see you. It was an incredible connection.
1,000%. You know, the way he used to grimace when he missed a putt. You know, he had the go for broke approach, as did Norman and Mickelson. But the difference in my mind, Arnold wanted to win so badly. It wasn't a matter of ego. It was a matter of how much he cared. And we'd love to see athletes who care. Unfortunately, in today's pros, they make a great putt and they might tip their visor, but they don't show that emotion. We need that emotion.
So you're not a big Patrick Cantlay fan. I hope he's not on your list of top 100 players of all time. I know he's not.
He's not on the. Did you see what happened to him yesterday on 15?
No, I didn't. But if it was bad, I'm all about it.
Well, no, he had 2 shots into the water from behind the green. He twice went in the water.
You hate to see it.
Got made a triple, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Michael Arkush is joining us. I do sense, and I don't necessarily disagree, I do think it was easier to win majors back, 60 or so years ago, longer than that in the case of like Hagan, and I'm not going to use Jones in that simply because there were fewer players who were playing at that level. Way more players playing at the top level today and really over the last, say, 20, 30 years than there ever have been. Other than Woods, who is the highest ranked player of the modern era?
What do you consider the modern era? Starting what year?
I would say probably early 80s.
You've got Watson.
Yeah, I've got Tom Watson. I think I have him 7th.
Okay, I've got Watson 12th. Okay, I'll give you my top 10. Okay, if you want after Palmer. Okay, I've got, and this is a whole other discussion. I've got Mickey Wright, number 6.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad for not including female golfers. This list would look different. My fault for that.
Yeah, no worries. And number 7 was Sam Snead. Number 8, Hagan is number 8. And I understand your take. It's a great take. And number 9 is Byron. And number 10, Harry Vardon, who I think is one of the most overlooked great players in history.
Yeah, because it was like, 1910.
All right, a little before he came to a tour of the United States in 1900 and just blew everybody away. Yeah. And he almost won. He almost won the U.S. Open at the age of 50 in 1920. No,
I totally get it. I have a hard time with like the great players of that era because like we never saw them. Like I've just read about. I watched the movie, right? I've seen that. Where is Phil Mickelson, who is to me the second greatest modern player of all time?
Second greatest. He's number 13.
Okay.
And here's the he's 6 majors, should be 8, 9, or 10. Look at Wingfoot in 06 and a couple other moments where he threw it away. He didn't know how to play the safe shot when it mattered. It's a shame because enormous talent, as you know. The Victor and Kiowa a couple years ago, the PGA.
Yeah.
It's a shame that he didn't sort of go out that way instead of all the live controversy around him. It's tarnished his image, no doubt about that.
Where's Greg Norman on this list? I was a huge. Where do you have him?
36.
That's way too low for Greg Norman.
No. Okay, Greg Norman, simple fact, 14 times had a share of the lead on Sunday in a major, only won twice.
Yeah.
Couldn't close the deal.
He has the a career Grand Slam of playoff losses.
Right.
Right. So all of that, but he was also in some ways snake bit. Like he got chipped in by Larry Mize and Bob Tway in a 2-year span.
Let me tell you, for the Larry Mize thing, Norman had a number of bogeys on the back 9 of that day, number 1. As far as Tway's, I was there in Toledo when that round, watching him and Tway. Greg Norman shot a 40 on the back 9. You don't deserve to win a major championship when you shoot 40 on the back 9 on Sunday. I'm
not arguing that, but he was in a playoff. And he lost in a playoff to Mark Calcavecchi at the Open Championship in '89.
He shot the last hole into the bunker, which you could not do.
All of that. Greg Norman was his own worst enemy.
Correct.
But in terms of worldwide wins and all of that, 36 is criminally low, Michael Arkush. And by the way, I used to be an enormous Greg Norman fan, and I no longer am. I think he has been one of the villains of golf over the last 5 years, maybe even a little bit longer.
All right, but let me ask you this.
Sure.
Don't you think the big test of greatness is, do you come through in those moments when you have those opportunities, or do you fall short?
So Rory McIlroy's not on your list?
No. Rory's got 4 majors, but first of all, twice as many as Greg.
Yeah.
He's number 25. But Rory is sort of you wonder if Rory's going to come back from Pinehurst the way Palmer never came back from Olympic. One has to wonder that.
I thought, well, that was obviously a tough one. St. Andrews a couple of years ago was another tough one. I'm making myself depressed with this conversation now, Michael. I want Rory to win more than anything.
Golfer? Yeah,
he is absolutely. I think he is America's favorite golfer right now.
I would agree with that. It would, those. You're right. You referenced at the beginning of the show those two doubles coming down the stretch yesterday were brutal.
I'm gutted.
But if he could, I think still has a possibility here. We'll see.
All right. Well, I hope the book does incredibly well. It's available, I'm assuming, on Amazon.
Amazon and also the Penguin Random House website.
Excellent. The Golf 100, a spirited. We just proved it. A spirited ranking. Michael, thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it. Who do you have winning this event, by the way?
I had Morikawa, but he also stumbled yesterday. Yeah. So let's see if he can come back.
Yeah, I might have a ticket on Bryce and DeChambeau. Michael, take care. Hopefully we can do it again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You got it.